The story of Daniel Morcombe is one of the best-known crime stories in this country. He went missing in December 2003. It took 8 years to arrest and charge Brett Cowan, who has since been convicted, and that in itself was an extraordinary part of the case. We've reported it at length, the police sting, the sophistication, the subtlety of what the police did to actually get this man. At the forefront, right through this time, since it started with Daniel's parents, Bruce and Denise Morcombe, they've now released a book about a very stylish book. Where is Daniel? The family story. Bruce and Denise Morcombe with Lindsay Simpson. They're both in the studio with me. Bruce, Denise, thank you for coming in.
Good morning,
Thank you very much.
It is a... I just wonder, Bruce, when I look at it, I think, why are you doing it? Why the book? Why not? You've been through 11 years of hell. Why not
just move
step
on and
away
leave
from
it behind? Yeah. Look, I think there was a bit of a call from the public, really going back to 2004 and 5 and 6, where people would come up to us, maybe just on a barbecue or in a pub or whatever, and say, "Oh, yeah, this is going to end up in a book." And we did have over the time a number of people that were journalists or whatever, and wanted to write it, and we said, no, it's not the right time, because we didn't have the final chapters, and it was only when Cowan was arrested and charged with murder and a number of other serious offences, and of course a week later we started finding Daniel's remains, that we knew there will be a funeral, there will be a trial, and there will be a verdict, no matter whether it's guilty or not guilty, but we have a final ending of the book.
Denise, what do you hope to achieve from the book?
I think we wanted to show to people that no matter how hard life is, you can get up each morning and find something positive to do. Many people have tragic lives. Might have a mother with cancer, or a child died of SIDS, or someone moves away, and even a friend moving from school. You have to get up in the next morning and say, I can get through this, and today will be a better day than yesterday.
What got you up in the dark days? What made you get up in the morning?
We wanted to find Daniel. That was our main aim, was to find Daniel. We knew there had to be an answer there somewhere, and we knew we had to keep strong and keep positive and keep out there talking to the media. And it was the community, the police and the media that helped us find Daniel in the end.
Bruce, I was thinking about this the other day as I was going through the book, and I thought, if it hadn't been for the two of you and your determination and your public appearances and the rest of it, I couldn't help wondering whether the police would have lost interest, would it have become a cold case that we're still talking about.
Yeah, look, I think there was every possibility that's where it was heading. That was the natural progression. And indeed, some of the documentation that did come forward during the coronial inquest, the final paragraph of a document that we hadn't seen, it hadn't been circulated to the family at all, but its recommendation was that the file, the police brief, be classed as a cold case and forwarded to the cold case unit. We were not impressed by that when we heard it, and clearly, the passage of time has proven that it should never have been classed as a cold case. Maybe some of those early investigations should have been run out a little bit harder, but we're not going to be smug and sort of say, we told you so, because, look, at the end of the day, we didn't know. We weren't privileged to lots of the information. It's only the passage of time, witnesses, alibis, some amazing police work, covert work, and indeed we were really lucky that some of the an alibi breaker, if I put it like that, was a simple loyalty card at the BWA RSL, which identified specifically you were on the poker machine at that particular time. Therefore, you weren't selling or engaging in drunks at a different house, which was his second alibi.
Do you, now the book's released, Denise, do you want to step aside? Do you want to step back? I mean, you're doing enormously good work with in the area and continue to do good work, but is it time to step back or not?
No, since the guilty verdict, the Daniel Morcombe Foundation has just increased like 100-fold. We had 10,000 emails in 3 days come through to the office. Bruce and I have got schools booked up until December, and we've got a waiting list for the next 2 years. In about early September, we've got a new child safety DVD coming out, which we're working on at the moment, working on a resource booklet, and we're still working pretty hard, and while the people and the schools still want us to be there, we'll still be there.
So this is your life's work now, Bruce?
Very much so. It's really about using the profile that we didn't ask for, but we found, and we just want to make a difference. And we know we have a voice. The media are always interested in what are the Morcombes up to, what do they think of this particular situation.
Don't you get sick of that?
Not sick of it. I think you appreciate that position. You know, it doesn't matter whether you're catching an aeroplane, you're putting fuel in the car, you're buying some cat food at the supermarket. It's just incredible. People come up to us all day, every day, and wish us well. And indeed, just yesterday, Denise and I were just enjoying a coffee and happy to pay, as you do. And not only did they say no charge, but they said, here's a donation. They gave us a cheque for the foundation as well. So people are incredibly generous. And honestly, just outside the front here, people shake your hand and say, keep up the good work. And in the hallways, indeed, of 3RW, they congratulate us and wish us well. But they also are saying, don't give up. We still have work to do. And our message is very much, Daniel was an ordinary kid and we were ordinary parents. And I think there's so many parents out there that can learn a tale from us that there are predators out there, and particularly online these days. And, our message about teaching kids how to be safe, to recognise that danger, know how to react, and importantly report if there's something not quite right in their life. The kids appreciate that because no longer do they think, bad stuff, it could happen to me because it happened to Daniel. It doesn't happen on the news on the other side of the world. It could be in and around where I am today.
Do you ever allow yourself to, and this might be too painful, do you ever allow yourself to think what would life have been if this hadn't happened?
Look, you can dream, I suppose. You do wonder. But we are far better people, if I put it like that, now. And indeed, strangely, far better parents than we were all those years ago as well.
Strangely, do you still judge yourself harshly over what happened?
Look, I think every parent would have regrets where you're told, your child off for, I don't know, not making the bed or doing the dishes on time. Those pretty ordinary, everyday family situations. But, as the passage of time goes on, many of them you do regret and think that really wasn't important. But, maybe they're life skills.
But Denise, you don't blame yourselves for what happened, do you?
Well, it wasn't our fault. I mean, the boys were coming to the Christmas party with us. It wasn't our fault it was raining. It wasn't our fault the bus was late. It wasn't our fault the bus went past and, Cowan was there on the day and that was it.
The book is Where is Daniel? A Family Story, Bruce and Denise Morcombe with Lindsay Simpson. Just finally, Denise, what a lot of people listen now with kids, it touches them because we all feel fragile when we talk about our kids. And you are living proof of why we feel fragile. What do you say to parents? What's your advice to parents who've been listening now?
Just hold on to your kids, understand who they are, and just hold on to all precious memories of them, and look after them.
Bruce?
Look, I think it is those memories. Kids go to school, they do artwork, they do little, things that they've made in woodwork or whatever the case may be, and too often you quietly walk, when they've gone to bed, you walk to the wheelie bin and you say, well, I don't need these, and in the bin they go, and then there's a situation, and believe me, after Daniel's disappearance and the very sad events of that, we were looking for where was that little thing that he made, and where's that photo? Gee, I wish I took a photo of him on his motorbike and things. So cherish every moment's the key. Thank you both very much for coming in, and congratulations on the book. More important, the foundation and the work you're doing. It is superb, and well done. Thank you. Talking Melbourne.